Hello, I'm Lee from Wooden Classroom and this is Beren. In this video we're going to show you 3 plants that are perfect for your foraging journey with kids. You may never have been out foraging before, but you fancy having a go at it. So we've picked these top 3 plants that are easy to identify, commonly found, tasty and nutritious. And we'll show you exactly what to look for and then give you some ideas of what you can do with them. This plant behind me is called wild garlic, and it is one of the best wild plants you can get in spring. Like its name, you can guess it tastes like garlic, because that's exactly what it is. It's a wild garlic. It smells like garlic and it tastes like garlic. And if your kids love garlic bread, then you should easily be able to convince them to go out hunting for this one. Like all wild spring greens, you're looking for the leaves in the best condition. Nice, young, fresh leaves that haven't been nibbled by animals, they've not got any bird poo on them, and they haven't been trampled. Now, when picking this plant, just be sure to take the leaves. Don't uproot the plant and pull the bulb out, because essentially you'll be killing the plant. So just break the leaves off at the stem and then you'll know it'll grow back year after year. This plant is easy to identify. The most easy way to identify it, of course, is the smell. The smell and taste is like no other plant. It's just garlic. Another feature to look for is how it spreads like a carpet over the woodland floor or over this bank. It has this carpet effect. The leaves are shiny and smooth with a smooth edge, and it grows from one centre point, and the leaves, spear-like in shape, come out from that centre. Later in spring, this plant will flower, and they are lovely white star-like flowers on a long stem. They really ping out in a woodland. The flowers themselves are also edible. They look great on a salad or placed on top of a pasta dish. So, you've picked all your wild garlic. What can you do with it? There are loads of ideas for you to get creative in the kitchen with your wild garlic. Very simply, you could add the leaves to a cheese sandwich. Or, kids' favourite, perhaps sprinkled on a pizza. You could chop it up and add it to a pasta sauce. Another one we know kids love is making a garlic butter for garlic bread. You can also add it to risotto, soup, but I would say to add it near the end of a cooking dish, because the cooking itself can reduce the flavour and make it less garlicky, so add it right at the end. You could also use it in an omelette, mixed in with rice or hummus. The list goes on. You should get creative with your kids and see what they come up with. I just wanted to show you this patch of wild garlic here. It looks great, but it brings up the point, where should we be picking plants from? Now, we're on the side of a farm track here and we're close to the road edge. So cars going past might kick up some dirt and dust which might get on the plant. And also, I know people walk their dogs up and down here. Who knows? Dogs might have cocked their leg and peed on this plant. So it's probably not a place I'm going to be picking it. But if you look behind the hedge, there's plenty there that will be undisturbed, where no dogs walk, no one's going to have trampled it. A much better place to pick the plant from. This patch of wild garlic here is a great place to pick from. It's off the roadside, it's up this bank, so it hasn't been trampled on, and I'm pretty sure no dogs will be walking in this area. The other place to be wary of is on the edge of farmland. arable land where crops might be growing that could have been sprayed with pesticides and fertilisers. Those chemicals might have blown across and ended up on your wild plant, so avoid places like that for picking. The next plant shouldn't need much explanation at all. It's the stinging nettle. You've probably thought you need to stay away from it. However, it makes a fabulous food. In fact, it was eaten like a vegetable in medieval times. Okay, how can we pick nettle without getting stung? You could wear some gardening gloves, or you could use some scissors. Either will be fine. And then of course you put it in your basket. You only really want those top 4 to 8 leaves. So a quick snip and make it fall into the basket. You don't have to touch it at all. Of course, it's got the jaggedy edge. It's covered in lots of little fine hairs. They're the ones that sting you. Nettles are found all over the place. Backs of gardens, in parks, hedgerows, wasteland, everywhere. And this time of year, it's very young and close to the ground. But of course, by summer, you can see it as tall as up here. But now is the perfect time to pick it because the fresh, new growth is when it's at its best. With this plant, it's only the leaves you want to eat as the stem is inedible. Now, you have carefully collected all your nettles. What are you going to do with them in the kitchen? And I'm sure the first question will be, won't I sting myself if I eat them? Well, you'll be glad to know that the slightest bit of cooking or even just blanched in hot water removes all the sting on nettles. So to prepare the nettles, you cut off the leaves so there's no stalk remaining. You may want to wear gloves for this. And then you can add it to any dish that you would add spinach to. So perhaps a soup, perhaps a stir fry, pasta sauce, an omelette. There are lots of uses, and you can make a basic nettle soup and add all sorts of vegetables on top of that. Nettles are tasty, but not only that, they are like taking a multivitamin and mineral tablet in a plant, so definitely one to be using in your kitchen. You can also make tea with nettles, but kids might prefer it sweetened with a little dollop of honey. Here I am in the back of someone's garden in their compost heap, looking at this plant, which is cleavers, otherwise known as goosegrass, sticky willy, sticky bob. Here in Wales, it's also known as a khaki monkey. It's got lots of different names. We should all know and recognise this plant. It's the sticky stuff that kids love to stick to each other's backs. So an easy one to identify. But if you're unsure, think of it like a pipe cleaner. So it's got a single stem with walls of leaves every so often going up the stem, like a pipe cleaner, which reminds us that it's really good for cleansing our lymphatic system, which is a bit like the drainage system of the body. So it's really good for cleansing and removing toxins from the body. Thank you, yes. You can find cleavers all over the place, the backs of gardens, parks, hedgerows, all over the place. And what you're looking to pick is those top couple of inches of the plant, the new fresh growth. The very tips can be quite tasty. It's also worth noting that the stem feels square. So that's another distinguishing feature. Later in the year, this is going to become much taller and woodier and rougher. So it's not so good to eat. However, you can still play tag with it with your kids. You can also get it in long lengths, wrap it round itself and make a green crown. But all year round you can still find the young fresh growth which you can use in your cooking. Now you've collected all your cleavers, what are we going to do with this plant in the kitchen? Again, it can be used in many dishes just like you would use spinach. You've got all those lovely tops which are nice and fresh, they have a pleasant flavour. But one of the most simple ways to use cleavers is to put it in a jar, fill the jar with water, leave the jar in the fridge overnight. The next day, sieve out the plant material and you are left with a lovely flavoured water, a little bit like cucumber flavoured water. So that's a great one, very simple to do with the kids. In fact, you can do pretty much the same with this as you can with the nettle and with the wild garlic. Why not mix all three together and have a wild pasta? Okay, I've got my basket of wild greens and I can go home now into the kitchen and get creative. If you're interested in learning more about wild food and foraging, check out some of the other videos on this channel. There are also videos on outdoor activities with kids. If you're really interested in foraging, perhaps throughout the year, do check the link in the description. We have an online course that takes you through every month of the year and the best wild foods to have. But thank you for watching this video. So it's a goodbye from me and it's a goodbye from him. See you next time.
Ooh.